The hand speed calculator. So I basically went
Yeah.
out and said, how fast do I move the machine for how fast it's moving? If I want to get a certain spacing between there, and then boiled that down and ended up getting not bored, but just how can I make this semi more useful? So I popped this on the website that starts communicating that your hand speed is equal to the grouping width times the frequency of the machine times the advance ratio.
That's super cool. That was one thing that I was kind of wondering about with the hand speed calculator. Is like what tattooers will comment on. I know is will be asking like
How do I know?
How do I know, how is this
Yeah.
useful to me?
So
How do I want to, like, I don't want to change my hand speed, and it's and you shouldn't be really. You
I'm
should
not
make the
saying
marks
that you
you
do
mark.
change your hand speed. I'm saying that if, let's say I ask you to import a image into, your line work into my app, and then I say, go ahead and line it at a comfortable speed for you.
Yeah.
And then I figure out what your averages are. If there's variation between when you're doing shorter strokes versus longer strokes, how your speed tapers up and down, and what your profiles are. And I'm going to try to figure out what the best settings are for your machine speed to match those hand speeds. Or alternatively, if you want to fix, I want to run this machine speed and just change then you can train. But it's more, something to train the muscle memory, because that's ultimately what you're doing, either whether it's by feel and if having just by feel, but then you can put the numbers behind it, you can further have better understanding and knowledge to exploit, these things and say, man, I want to run my machine a little bit. I'll do my hand speed. Or, if you want to achieve certain effects, then you know exactly what you need to do with any machine to get that effect. It's not, guesswork anymore. It's not,
Right.
because a lot of, like, you get to whip shading, like you talk about whip shading, and it's like, that's such on a brushed machine where you have the bog, you have not only how fast you're accelerating your hand, but how fast the machine's decelerating, and that's playing into how far your spacing is. And all these are changing instantaneous. So it's just comes back to the consistency and reproducing exactly what you want, because getting it in the first time is important.
Yeah.
Not having to go back and reline or, pack in the same spot and that's sitting in tattoos. I've been tattooed by multiple artists, and some not as good as others. And I felt the bitter ends of that. And, man, the last guy didn't go over the color 4 times. How come this is hurting so goddamn much? You know what I mean? So.